This is your podcast show. Yes, Super's real savage talk. Relationships. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about love. We're talking about trust. We're talking about your feelings, my feelings, and everything above. Yeah. At 7 o'clock we talk about what makes love, what makes people just love one another. Yes, it's your girl Super Savage. The podcast, Super Real Savage Talks. In love, with your love, I'll teach you how to be a boss. With my Super Real Savage Talk, man, always around with the best advice. Don't never think twice. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you. This is Super Savage on on Super Real Savage Talk podcast. And how are y'all doing today? If you want to know about money and you want to know about investments, I have a guru here today. His name is Lawrence Harris, and he's going to educate us on investments, small investments, big investments, investments starting out. So let's give him a big hand. Before we go ahead and start the interview, I want to say, if you guys want to get in contact with me, sorry about that, had a brain thing on. If you guys want to get in contact with me, hit me up on robinbuckley18@gmail.com or the Real Super Savage Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. All right, and how are you doing today, Lawrence?
I'm doing good. This is Jessica.
Okay, and how long have you been dealing with investments?
Since 1975.
Okay, and could you tell me about your first investment? First of all, what is an investment?
Investments are like some you invest your money into like a business or something. That would be an investment.
Okay.
But you might, invest into it. You gotta need to try to make your money back.
Okay.
You got other investment like gold, silver, houses, cars.
So, what was your first investment?
Motorbike, a yellow Yamaha.
Okay, and how old were you when you first invested?
I was 16 years old.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, where I caught the money up from that first investment, picking up batons, raking leaves, cutting grass, digging worms such as called night crawlers, and sell poke salad.
Okay, so night crawlers, how much would you sell those for?
So I get 50 cents for some of them, then I get $1.
Okay. Wouldn't have bought them, but hey.
Sell fish.
They selling. Okay.
Sell fish.
So you would turn this into profit, right?
Profit.
And invest it in something that you wanted or to resell, or go ahead, I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay, good. I finished on that with Jens. Go.
Okay. So what is the process like after you choose what you're going to invest in? What's the next process?
talking about the next process I made the investment. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That process is I'm trying to now I make sure my investment be able to make me more gain and make more money. But depending on what I invest into. If I invest into my own little business, you know what I mean? You know, I got to get my tools and everything like that. And I got to find work too. I go door to door if I'm cutting yards, something like that. I go door to door. You know, I got my own equipment and everything, but I got to write all that down because I invested into lawn equipment.
Right. Okay.
We push more.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
Do you have to be good with numbers?
Yes.
Okay, so you're good. You're good in math.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Do you have to take a class for investment? Like, how did you learn how to invest and make good decisions behind it?
I learned myself and from other people to ask questions about it. Other people. Well, some man told me about investment. He was a millionaire. He told me how he got rich through investment. So he had a tree farm. So he had time timber called tracts in different places, different counties. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, he invested in cows. And, you know, that's where I learned investments from. He told me all about his investment.
Right.
So he bought cows investment. So the price of cows it went down. So he wouldn't sell. So it didn't go back up. So he sold all of it. He don't fool with them.
So inflation is inflation part of that? Like it goes up and down, it fluctuates.
Yeah, because sometimes inflation got something to do with your investment.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Besides the motorcycle that you invested in, when was the next time you invested something? And what was it?
Automobiles, but
okay.
But you know, I invested in a lot of automobiles. Bought a lot of cars, bought trucks. I bought 2 or 3 trucks. You know how many cars? I can count about 15 cars. But yeah.
What is an investment banker? Is it the same as like you or me?
Investment banker. What you do? They got an investment banker down in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
I got an investment. You go there, you talk to them. They tell you what investment you can make, like in the bank, gold, silver, saving bond, mutual bonds, stuff you can invest a little bit in it and make. You know.
Okay. Is there a certain thing as investing in different bank accounts? Like,
yeah.
Can you invest money in a bank account?
Yeah. What else? You can invest really in a savings account.
Mm-hmm.
What you do, your savings account is, you know, you put money in there. You got so much money you put, but you don't touch. You don't touch that money. You still got that money. You invest it into a savings account. You want that savings account to grow. If you just drawn out of it, you got a quota you put in. You still putting it in there. The thing about it, if you wanted some out of it, you borrow from it, pay it back. I'll call it an investment.
Is there a certain let's just say I own a company and I want to invest and somebody wants to invest some money into my business. Do they own a percentage of my company based off of their investment, or are there owed money? Like
they could.
When you invest in the business, would you write that contract? I invest so much money into the business to where I have so much of the revenue at the quarterly end of the quarter. Like I guess I'm trying to ask.
Okay.
How do you know what percentage in a business to?
It's different for different investments in business. It depends on the business.
There's no set number.
No, I couldn't say a number because it depends on the business what the number going to be for that business. Because all business wasn't the same. When you make an investment into that business, some business worth more money than other business. So that's the most small investment.
So you would do your research before you even invest.
Right. Check everything out before you invest. So make sure you make
their
a good
revenue.
investment. Yeah. Make sure you make a good investment.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. We're here with Lawrence Harris, and he is answering all of our questions for investment. And we'll be right back. This is Super Savage on the Super Real Savage Talk. One thing about this podcast, the listeners, they are the best I ever had. Tune into my show. Give you the best advice about the relationships that you care about the most. Super savage, wants to know how your day are going and how your weekend and your nights are flowing. You can always talk and listen to me. I'll keep secrets, I won't tell nobody. Sit on my couch in my podcast lounge, and I'll pull up a chair and sit, and we can conversate and reminisce on the times. If you got some time, stop by. This is the real, the savage, the super savage, the any way they gotta have it. The Super Real Savage Talk podcast. Listen to me every Wednesday and Saturday. I'm giving love advice, relationship advice, parenting advice. If you just want somebody to talk to, I can do that too. The Super Real Savage Talk podcast. Thank you. We are back in the Super Real Savage Talk. And we are speaking to Lawrence Harris, and he's talking about investments and different types of investments. And so right now we're going to get from different emails from different people about questions that they may have. So let's read the first email here, and it says, when you're married, do you invest in a marriage? And if so, what kind of investment?
I was married, and I invest. I was investing. I mean, we invest in a lot. We invest in a house. Invest into cars and lawn equipment, and also investment in banks. Different type of what you call it, retirement plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next question is, what is stock, and is stock related to investments?
Well, stock is investment itself, but related to stock, you got different type of stock. They had SP 500. There's some more different stock they had, but stock can play a big role in investments too. They invest into stock. Our company has different stock. Whatever their stock was. Anything can be stock, products in that stock to sell. It's listed on the stock.
What happens when you invest your money in something and it doesn't go the way you want it? Like what is the downfall of investment?
When your investment not coming, you're not going upward for you. Investment, thought it was a good investment, but the way it went, it ain't going right. So what you do is you have to get out of that investment, because you're going to lose too much.
How do you get out of an investment?
Get out of an investment, you just stop it. Whatever you invest in, you just stop investing into it. You found new investment. So all investments.
So once you're in an investment, you can pull out.
You can pull out.
Okay.
Well, They still get out and they take it on.
Does that company owe you any money, or do you owe them any money if you pull out?
Well, International Paper Company, which is Georgia Pacific now, bought them out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm investing in that in a couple of years. You know, I get my pension and stuff from there, but I ain't, you know, it's $600 a month, but I take it. I take lump sum, 40,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay. What do you have? What advice do you have for anyone that's looking to do investments, on how to prepare to get ready to do an investment? What advice do you have?
Advice I have for them, if they're gonna make an investment, they go talk to some investors to get what's going on, so they would know how to invest. But invest, don't know how to invest and what they're gonna invest in. So, would it be good? Would it be upward for them than be a down?
Okay. Have you ever did a bad investment?
Yeah, I did bad investment buying cars and stuff like that. But I went investing, they didn't, I didn't, it's just bad investments. I should never even invest into it.
So, and when it comes to investments, it's going to be some good investments and some bad investments. You just have to roll with the punches, huh?
Right. You got to check. You see the investment not profiting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then when you can't find no ways to make it profit, instead of losing, it's time to get out of that investment.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell us about investments? I think we covered everything. What do you guys think? Yeah, pretty good. When you return, Lawrence is going to tell us about the Army.
Yeah,
the Army and how he ranked one of the highest of the highest when we return on Super Real Savage Talk. Podcast, listen to me. Yeah, at 8 o'clock, at 7 to 8, 7 to 7:30. Whenever we start, but it's gonna reflect the best that you listen. Super Savage got the advice. This is your podcast show. Yes, Super's Real Savage Talk. Relationships. Talking about relationships. We're talking about love. We're talking about trust. We're talking about your feelings, my feelings, and everything above. Yeah. At 7 o'clock we talk about what makes love, what makes people just love one another. Yes, it's your girl Super Savage. The podcast, Super Real Savage Talks. In love, I'll teach you how to be a boss. With my Super Real Savage Talk, man, always around with the best advice. Don't never think twice. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for listening to me. One thing. We're back. This is the host, Super Savage. And we're here with Lawrence Harris talking about investments. And now we're going to go ahead and for our next discussion. And we're going to talk about the war and the highest ranks. And Lawrence, so you were in the war? I mean, in the Army, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so when you first start out, what are you in the Army?
Private one.
Okay, so tell us a little bit of your details you did in being a private one.
Really, private, you got officers over you and stuff. You really ain't hard nothing.
What are your duties?
Private duties. what it called duties are guard duty, CQ. That's it inside the barracks and sit at the desk and worry about who coming in out the barracks or what's going on in the barracks. If somebody fighting, do anything, so they can report it.
How long was you a private one?
Really, when I went in the military, I went on a buddy system, and so going on a buddy system, I promoted. When I went in as a PFC. I mean, that's an E3. A private one. Private. You got that's all private. E2.
Mm-hmm.
E1 mean ain't got no rank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it first go in service-based training. Then get promoted to E2.
You gotta work your way up there.
Yeah, you gotta work your way.
So after being a private one, or what's the next ranking?
Private two, and then PFC.
So what highest ranking did you receive?
Officer, staff sergeant, officer.
Okay, so who were you over? Barracks or what?
Well, it depends on what field I was doing in. But on my E6 I was more major in a training unit. Like, I might go to Oklahoma, I do a different task. I might be in ammunition, and not ammunition. But I might be at Fort Benning, Georgia, down by Columbus, Phoenix City.
How many men were you over?
On the training side, I was over I was training troops, like first coming in the military.
Okay.
So I might be here about 14.
Okay.
I have an A team, a B team, and I got about 8 in each, 7 in each team, A team, B team.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So them, I got to train them, take them out there and train them. I give a vision spiel, tell them what they need to do, and they give them a practical application zone. I got demonstrators. So they go through everything first. So the troops know how to go through it. But if they do something wrong, you tell them right then where they at. On the spot correction. So make sure you do it right.
Okay. Did you ever get in trouble in the Army?
Yes, I got in trouble maybe a couple times. I got in trouble. I got 2 out of I got 1 out of 15. Maybe
Did you ever go to Army jail?
No, I never knew an Army jail.
Did you have a dishonorable discharge?
No, honorable.
And how many years were you in the Army?
25 years.
Wow. 25 years. How many wars were you in?
One war. I've been on there around about 74, 75. That wasn't that long, about 1 month. You know what I mean? Because they withdrawn there.
Yeah.
About 1 month.
Okay. What advice do you have for anyone that's looking to join the Army or the military?
Well, main thing about it, is be ready to take orders and be ready to listen. You know what I mean?
Be ready to take orders and ready to listen.
Right. Yeah.
You've heard it first from Lawrence Harris. And we're going to go to quote of the day. And quote of the day is, invest your time wisely and into something you enjoy. That is the quote of the day. Invest your time wisely and invest your time in something you enjoy. Lawrence, would you like to say what that means? Invest your time wisely and invest your time in something you enjoy or love doing. That's what the quote is.
Oh, yes. So you want me to say on mine? What I like?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said what I like to say it again. Jessica?
The quote is, invest your time wisely and invest your time is something you love to do. That's the quote. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
100%.
Because you don't want to waste no time.
Right. Your time value.
Okay. And that is all we have for today. I want to thank you guys for listening to Super Real Savage Talk. And I want to thank Lawrence for coming out and answering all of our questions. If you have any more questions for Lawrence, you can always reach me at robinbuckley18, Gmail, yahoo.com, or The Real Super Savage at Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And till next time, be safe, love one another, and see you soon. Yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for your relationship advice. It's time to listen. It's time to get some advice about your situations as you're working at your house and at your wherever you want it to be. I can give advice to you. This is Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk.